happens at closing as a seller? I always get that question a couple of weeks prior to closing on a home. Hi, I'm Cindy DCN, and I'm with the Cindy D team. And I'm here to talk to you today about what happens as a closing as a seller, because that's a whole different process than from a buyer, correct? Of course. So many times people are starting to interview their movers and getting prepared to get their utilities changed on closing date, because we all know that the lender on a buyer side is actually going to strive for closing on the date in the contract as the date. And so I always tell people, unless we change something, those are the dates that we're striving for. All parties involved, buyers, sellers, lenders, title companies, everybody that's out there. So one of the most key things to think about is who's going to be involved during this time frame. And one of our key players is going to be the title company. About 5 days prior to closing, the lender is supposed to have final loan approval for the buyer. But prior to that time, many times the title company is preparing to get ready for you as a seller. So they're in the background getting a hold of your lender, getting a payoff of that mortgage that you may have on the house, and finding out what they've paid in escrow for you for insurance and taxes. And then they will put everything as a per diem on our closing statement for you. They are also checking with HOA if there's a homes association. If it's monthly or annually, it doesn't really matter. They will get a hold of them and get documents showing the actual status of that HOA fees that are involved. They are also checking to make sure the real estate taxes are paid in the title company, in the actual courthouse where they're at, and everything matches together. So they're coordinating all these things for us. And they're an important factor for us because they are kind of like the director for closing, because when we get our title commitment, that kind of gives us a little bit of a schedule for closing of what has to be cleared off of that title in order to give clear title to the buyer. So at closing, we usually try to have a seller come in 5 to 7, maybe 10 days prior to the actual closing date to sign all their documents. And the title company will actually prepare what's called a preliminary closing statement for you as a seller. And they will have everything debited and credited on there for you. If there's a mortgage, what is the balance? What is the payoff? What is the per diem of the actual interest on there? They will also, like I said, have information in there in reference to real estate taxes and homes associations and title insurance cost and any wire transfer fees and that type of thing. So everything is pulled together as a debit and a credit on that closing statement for you. So what we're going to do is the title company will review with you all of those documents. So you have an idea of what your proceeds are going to be almost to the penny. It's not etched in stone, but they're going to be a really pretty darn close. So you know what you're going to be coming out with, because at time of contract, we gave you an estimate based on just some estimate information that you gave us. So title company is taking that and literally trying to get it down to the penny for you so that you know exactly what. When you come in, they're going to request that you bring in a valid driver's license. It has to be valid, it cannot be expired, because they will not allow you to close without it being valid at that time. And what they're going to do is they'll also want you to bring with you closing instructions of what to do with the funds. If we're purchasing another house, we're going to coordinate with the title company and that lender of the purchase of their other house to have all the funds, part of the funds go to that. If you're not purchasing another home and you're just putting it into your account, then we need to have the banking institutions, routing numbers, and account numbers. And I always suggest somebody to bring in actually a little statement or something showing that, so you don't have it by memory. You literally can hand something to the title company so that they can look at that. Keep in mind, the title company will record that and you will sign off of what you want to be done with those funds. They will not change that information via phone or via email. They will only change it if you come back in. So if something has to change, that's what they will require to do. So make sure we know what we're going to be doing with those funds prior to you walking in. But that day, when you come in to sign for your seller's docs, it only takes a few moments. One, probably I'd say 15, 20 minutes. You maybe have a dozen documents for you to close, to sign. One, the preliminary closing statement to show the debits and the credits, the warranty deed, any tax information things, and other affidavits that go along with it. Doesn't take very long. It's really kind of nice because, as a buyer, we know closing always takes the 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the complexity of the type of loan. But as a seller, it's 15, 20 minutes and we're in and out. It's kind of easy, which is really great. So keep in mind, our title company is going to be our key player. We'll have them as the coordinator with us of what's going to happen in order to give that clear title. So have any questions, reach out to me. But there we go. So we will be reaching out to you a few weeks, 10 days, a week before closing to get everything finalized and get us going to the right direction. All righty? Awesome. Have a great day. If you have any questions, contact me below. Reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions and help you through that process. Again, this is Cindy DeCiani with the Cindy D Team.